So let's take a look at the sponge tissue process from adaptation to regeneration. So when an organism is triggered with a sponge brain tissue, the adaptation phase starts to cope with the situation, to cope biologically with what is going on. And for a sponge brain tissue, the coping is done by increasing cells or increasing function. More cells, more function than normal. I compare it with building a wall. There's no wall there, but now you need to react to the situation. You start building the wall. For example, if you felt like you could not get enough food in, you need somehow to get more food. If you were not fast enough to grab the piece of meat that was on the table and now somebody else grabbed it, next time is you need to be faster. If you cannot digest something, either physically or metaphorically, doesn't really matter, because at the biological level, there is no difference between physical and metaphorical. But if you feel like you cannot digest something, we need more digestive fluid to start processing the digestive system. And with the previous example, if I was not fast enough, I need more thyroid hormone to be faster. If I have not enough water, then the process makes sure that you're getting enough water, you get more water, which is not possible, but what is possible is prevent you from losing water. So the body starts reabsorbing more of your water that is in the urinary system, and instead of peeing it, you store it. So it's kind of the body that says, no, we're not going to get rid of this water because we need it. We're going to store it, which is also a higher activation, in this case, of the kidney collecting tubules. So basically what happens in the brainstem, in the sponge brain, is whenever there's a adaptation, whenever the body needs to react to a situation, the body starts producing extra tissues, extra cells, extra function, all in order to solve that issue. To produce more digestive systems, fluids, to produce more tear glands, to increase the cell reabsorption rate of water, to create more thyroid hormone, anything that the body can do to create more to solve the issue. It is like creating more cells. Almost like in business. When you have a certain workload and you're being triggered because you cannot handle the workload, one of the things you can do is either make sure that the people work harder, you give them more to do, or you hire more people, more cells. So you make the cells more active, more involved, they function better, or you create more cells. This building of the wall, this creating of extra cells, continues until the problem is solved. Once the problem is solved, the body can go into regeneration, meaning we build down the wall, we break down the wall back to floor level, we reduce the number of cells back to the level that they were, we reduce the workload of the cells back to the levels that they were, all in order to go back to the same state that we were before. Like in business, we reduce the number of people, or the number of workloads is reduced. Basically, in the regeneration phase, when everything is fixed, we can go back to the state that we were before. In the adaptation phase, where there's extra cells being created, that is done by cell multiplication, just by the body's normal way of increasing the number of cells. The decrease of the extra cells that were created before is done with microbes to break down the cells, the extra cells, or to not replace them once they normally die. Every cell has a normal way of being born and apoptosis, going down, dying off again. And in the regeneration phase, the new cells that were being generated in the adaptation phase are no longer replaced because we no longer need them. So let's do an assignment with that. Look up the following tissues in your directory and write down the themes of these tissues in your workbook, in the forum. The liver parenchyma, the lung alveoli, the ileum, the sigmoid, the tonsils, and the pancreas. You have about 5 minutes for that. Ready? Go.
Now continue and subscribe to our platform and get more additional free resources and other related videos, also free. Just go to free.biocompass.org.